Welcome to Talking Politics with Peter Beimers. I am Peter Beimers. I am a two-time candidate for the New Blue Party, and on Monday nights I will post videos exploring the political scene here in Ontario and Canada in general. Finally, Ontario is due for a tax break. Premier Doug Ford seems to be spending money as if Ontario was running on a major surplus. And today we're going to look at two of those items that Ford spent millions and millions on, with a net negative return on investment and significantly negative return on investment, impacting not only Ontario, but the rest of Canada as well. First, let's look at the corporate welfare handouts to the electric vehicle market here in Ontario. Now, just a quick Google search showed me that he has invested well over 1.8 billion with a B in various EV plants in Ontario, including $259 million in the now recently shut down Ingersoll plant. And you got to wonder why all these plants are shutting down. And Ingersoll is not the first, it's actually the fourth in recent times that has been shut down. And the reason why is simple. There's no demand for an electric vehicle here in Ontario, let alone Canada. In their corporate welfare spending, they are desperately trying to create a demand that is simply not there. Not sure why he's trying to create a demand that's not there. Maybe he owns personal stock in it, like he did for all those stickers on the floors of the stores that said, "Walk this way." I don't know. But he's trying to create a market that's not there. He's not allowing the free market to dictate what businesses do with their own business. Instead, he's trying to create an artificial demand for something that's not there. So now you got 4 EV plants shut down, at least temporarily. And some are coming back at half capacity, but they all got to switch over to gas-powered vehicles, which is what the people want. And think of all the millions that have been thrown down the toilet because of this move. But now let's look at the most recent spending blunder under his belt. That $75 million commercial to air in the U.S. against Trump and his tariffs. Where to start with this one? Well, let's start with that he's given our tax dollars to an American company. He's investing in an American company with our tax dollars. And you know what the rate of return is on that, but we'll get to that in a minute. I got to ask, what was Doug Ford thinking? What was his end game with these ads, with this ad? Like, what did he think he would accomplish with this thing? Does he not have anybody around him to tell him no? Did he not run this by anybody? Did he not even send a preview to Prime Minister Carney to say, "Hey, what do you think?" and get a pat on the back? I know his BFF Trudeau is busy with this Katy Perry person, so he can't go there. So maybe he just did it on his own. I don't know. But whatever it is, it doesn't seem like anybody was there to tell him no. This was not a good idea, which leads to and begs the question, is he even familiar with Donald Trump at all? The results of those ads were astonishingly predictable. And the result was twofold. One, no more trade talks. Oh, shock. You insult the guy with the higher leverage and he shuts you down. And two, just to pour salt in the wounds, Trump introduces a 10% increase on the tariffs, making it even that much harder for Canadian businesses to sell to U.S. customers. Of course, the elbows up crowd are all for this and are stupidly supportive of this, but they have a pretty good dose of TDS, believing that any attack on Trump and on the U.S. is a good thing, regardless of the results. That's why I believe with all this massive, useless, wasteful spending, this money could have been better used to reinvest into Ontario needs. Really, what Ford was signaling to the rest of Ontario, to you and to me, was that we must have a massive tax surplus. If this is so, immediately cancel the industrial carbon tax. He doesn't need that extra money. If so, reduce the HST. Give us our tax break that we so desperately need to make our money go further? And if so, let's re- repair some of these roads that we drive on. Some of them are getting pretty bad. Not Quebec level bad in some places, but they're getting there. And if so, I'm sure some of our schools can use use an upgrade, some of them massively upgrade on their windows, the AC, and the heat. But I don't believe Ford in Ontario is operating on a massive surplus. And if so, what he's doing is reckless. It's foolish. This cannot continue. When election time comes around again, we got to put a stop to this foolish and reckless spending. It's only the new Blue Party of Ontario that is committed to reinvesting your tax dollars into Ontario and letting the free market operate with little to no interference from the Ontario government. $1.8 billion spent on an EV market that simply isn't there, trying to create an artificial demand for what's simply not there. $75 million spent on an ad to a U.S. company for American citizens, aimed, I guess, to shame Trump and the Republicans into removing the tariffs. I'm not sure that was going to work. I'm sure you didn't expect it to work, and it sure didn't. I mean, canceling trade talks, increased tariffs by 10%. Boy, that was a $75 million blunder that backfired and affects you, me, the rest of Ontario, not just Ontario, Canadians. I wonder if Carney made a phone call to Ford to say, hey, butt out. Well, if you made it this far, thank you for watching. And if you like what you hear, share with your friends, like, and subscribe for when new videos are posted every Monday night. Well, and as for the Blue Jays, they made it to the World Series, just like we hoped, against the LA Dodgers. Granted, they're a very, very powerful team. Listening to the baseball channel on XM, looking at the media on social media and whatnot, they're not giving the Jays any chance. But I do. They really cleaned their clocks in game one, not so much in game two. They're tied 1-1 going to LA, which is a lot better than going down 0-2, which they did to Seattle. But I'm thinking this is going to come back to Toronto. Hopefully the Jays take it in 6, maybe even 7. But let's go Jays.